What's poppin', y'all? I've got a lot of topics, so probably gonna be a packed week this week. You guys might get something every day. Just a little bit more active, Probably feel like earlier. When was I the most active? Like 2022? Probably. I was dropping a lot that summer, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so there's just been a lot of topics to talk about that have accumulated over the past 3 days. But I really want to talk about this Saweetie one first, because for those of you that may not have known, there was like this whole thing about her selling like 2K or something like that went super viral. And I put together the initial post that like pretty much documented her sales. I thought the sample was very, very terrible too. But that kind of like, there was a whole thing around that, and I've been critical of her music in the past, although I have shown a lot of love when it came to being honest about her ability to perform hits. I don't know how involved she is in the process, but I even said like Best Friend by Doja Cat. I like that song. And Tap In, My Type, like I can acknowledge those are like banger songs. Would I personally be listening to them all the time on my own? No, but I have listened to Best Friend a couple of times on my own. Like I enjoy that song. So she recently did this cover, and I posted about it on my IG. Follow me at helloyassine, where she posted this she had this really self-aware quote in this Allure cover story that she did, because she just released 2 singles, Rich Tivities, I believe. Yeah. Or is this one single? It looks like a 2-pack. I think it's just one single. So she released one song. She hasn't dropped anything in years other than that little EP. I haven't checked out the song yet, so I'm not going to give any opinion on that. But this was in conjunction with promoting that song. And she really, I feel like we got a different side of her. And there are a couple of quotes that I want to pull out, and then we'll talk about them. So the initial one is when she talked about like making stuff viral, and they were saying like how she can use her appearance to make stuff viral. One of the quotes that she said was, "Everything now just feels like make it go viral, go viral, go viral. Okay, cool, go viral. But if your only intention is numbers, what about the art or the reason why we're here today?" And then she goes on to say, "I just feel like nobody was caring about my music." Saweetie says of the people around her at the time. "To me, music is sacred. It's coming from your spirit. You can't just go finish an album in a week. That's why it's taking me so long. That's why I haven't dropped an album yet." So what it looks like from all the posts is that she was saying that none of the fans really cared about her music. But what it looks like in the full context of the story, although I do think she's aware of that too, in the full context of the story, she was talking about all of the money and how her team was pushing her towards all of these partnership deals with McDonald's, MAC Cosmetics, Crocs, etc. And then it says she started to feel like being hyper visible was overshadowing her craft. So the people around her are the people that were in business with her. And she was probably so busy doing all these other things that they didn't even really care about her as a music artist. And we also kind of didn't really care either. But that's where she's referring to it from. And she says it keeps getting delayed. And then what did she say? There was another quote. Yeah, plus Saweetie has been jaded by the critiques on whether she's a talented artist worthy of her spot that she has to navigate every time she releases new work. "I don't mean to dampen the mood," she says, "but this is realistically how my career has been. We were constantly criticized for every drop. I was just very insecure. I'm a confident woman, but I was a very insecure artist." And I do think this ties into kind of like what we talk about here and the fans and listeners' perspective as opposed to the people around her, which is true. She does get a lot of flack. Granted, partially it was the thing with Quavo. So the thing with Quavo got her a lot of hate. She was dropping music at the same time. Takeoff just died. She was dropping these lines that made it seem like she was taking shots at Quavo. Meanwhile, he was going through what was happening with Takeoff. And clearly within hip hop, we like Quavo more than we like Saweetie. So she got some hate for that. Then there was the whole, she was saying, oh, like the girlies are taking over rap, which really did manifest itself, except all the girlies except her, until she's coming out now. And then she says, "I always bite off more than I can chew. I had to push myself. I was trying to dance, rap, and sing at the same time. And I was like, hold on, girl, pump the brakes." So she buckled down and went on a work vacation where she attended an artist boot camp so she could improve her performance. And this is where I gave her credit too. A year or two or a couple of years ago is when people were clowning her performance, and her performances were terrible. Yet, what did she do? Immediately after, she took the feedback and she started practicing performing, and she started getting better. And this is one thing I think we have to give credit to Saweetie, that an example that doesn't do this is Coi Leray. Like Saweetie gets a lot of hate. And some of it is justified if it's about the music, but I think some people just kind of hate her, which isn't my case at all. So with that being said, for her to take all of that hate and to internalize it and say, okay, this is feedback and these people don't just hate me. So there are people that hate her and there are people that are giving me feedback, and she's internalizing the feedback and casting away the hate. And then she improves herself. And then there was the instance with Vlad too, when Vlad kind of came at her sideways. I think that was disingenuous, because an interview is not going to make somebody really sell that much more unless it's completely structured around the music. So, Vlad had that thing that he had to say, but then she came back and she was like, well, like, I didn't know that I got an invite from Vlad. I'm actually a big fan of Vlad. And in that position, she could have used it as an attempt to dunk on Vlad, and it would have looked bad on Vlad's part, because she was like, what are you talking about? Like, I actually mess with your stuff. Nobody even told me that you were like trying to get me on an interview, and dropped like a snide comment, and she would have gotten one over on him, and it would have looked good in her favor. But she decided not to do that. And it's kind of like these bits and pieces of authenticity that come off of Saweetie. But one thing that we kind of want to know is, how much do you care about the music, and how involved are you in the process of the music? Because when I look at Saweetie, even these songs that I'm talking about that I've listened to and I enjoyed, like the song that she had with Doja Cat, I don't look at it and make the assumption that Saweetie wrote or had process in making those songs. And Saweetie, if somebody on her team hears this, to us, it feels like Saweetie is that brand. Like, for example, they're putting McDonald's on her, MAC Cosmetics, whatever other stuff she's promoting, and like kind of like that icy girl lifestyle. But it feels like the music is just another one of those companies or products that's pretty much being foisted upon her to promote. It doesn't feel to us like Saweetie's in there actually creating the music. And I think something that could offset that is us actually seeing Saweetie make music, or like Saweetie like dropping a freestyle. Like, for example, like DaBaby, when he would do those freestyles, like try to get himself back hot again. So we can actually see her in a setting where music is being made and make the association of, okay, she's a musician, she's a rapper, she's not just this face that has products plastered on her and is just a promotional vehicle. Because authenticity is very, very necessary now, especially with how saturated music is. And a lot of these artists that people saw as kind of not real artists / rappers are falling by the wayside, like JT and Carisha, for instance. I think they both dropped the song and it's not really doing too hot, because people don't really see, definitely they don't really see Carisha as a rapper anymore like they once did as a group. JT, I don't really know how that song is doing, but I don't really think it's going too good for them either. So that's one thing that I would like to see from Saweetie, and I don't think that just happens with an album. I think it takes time, and she's probably going to have to lose money from whatever other opportunities are going on for her to get back. It's not just getting back hot, for her to establish and let people know that, hey, I'm a rapper and I'm here to really do this, and that's the priority in my life and my career, not just this making money stuff. And I do think like her appearance can help with that, especially if she looks different, etc., in terms of like how she used to look, because I think she like always changes up her look, whether it's haircuts, outfits, things like that. Because right now, unfortunately, what's going to happen if Saweetie drops an album, it's probably just going to be quiet. When Saweetie was hot, there were few female rappers. Far fewer. Now, I can't even count how many female rappers that are hotter than Saweetie musically. And it's just going to make it difficult to stand out just dropping an album after there was no anticipation. There is no anticipation for a Saweetie album. So she can't just drop. She needs to build some sort of anticipation, unless she's going to drop like a little tape or something, or an EP. But I'm really interested to see how her team handles this, because if they were to just drop an album, whoa, I don't think that would perform well. And it's not even from a sales perspective, because if you guys have noticed, like I've kind of really cut back on that talk, because I've just seen, if I know something's fake and I know for sure that it's fake, it's very, very wrong of me. Not only is it dishonorable of me, but it's fake of me to come here and pretend a metric that is largely fake now matters. And I can't really do that. So I don't even think it's like the sales perspective when I'm talking about Saweetie, but we can also gauge when something is being paid attention to and when something is kind of just being ignored. And then we see the numbers for it and we're like, whoa, this isn't making any waves anywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about this topic. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.